Hello and welcome all to the next fabulous edition of the Alderaan Community Outreach Podcast. I am the host with the most. I got nothing today, but I'm your host, Adam Jewell.
And I am the co-host, Cassandra Spader.
Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. We got a really big show coming up today. First of all, how are you? How was your week? I guess last 2 weeks. We didn't record last week.
Yeah, a little bit of an Order 66 scare,
Yeah.
but we're good now. We're healthy.
Yes.
We're social distanced.
Exactly. And hydrated.
And hydrated. My week, I'm excited to talk about Star Wars right now. I guess that's the real one.
Right? Lots going on.
Sometimes you just need to escape it all.
And what is Star Wars, not the best at for that? Not well said. But I think Star Wars is wonderful for escapism.
Absolutely.
So lots of stuff happened. I don't know how much you've been paying attention. A few things happened over the last 2 weeks. Something that is not here in my notes, but figure I should point out. Star Wars Celebration put all their 2020 merch on sale because I'm sure they already had it made up and then sure enough got canceled. So they're selling it all.
Well, that's cool. I actually didn't see that.
Yeah, it's just their stuff. It's not like all the vendors, obviously.
Right.
But you can get... I didn't look through it all too much. A lot of Empire stuff for their anniversary, which we'll get in here too. And I think I saw like a Star Wars lunchbox in there and just, fancy stuff. You can check that out on their website, though. They've got it all posted there.
Do you think that because it was canceled, it'll be like collector level, or do you think it's just kind of lame?
I think it's already kind of collector level because that stuff sells out quick, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I would assume it's already slightly collector-ish, but I don't know. Post a comment on this channel if
what do you think?
If their stuff is collector. I assume everything Star Wars wise is.
Is it like,
collector.
but is it like more valuable because it's dated and it didn't happen?
Because it didn't happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know the people who had tickets got first dibs at it. So
Okay.
I feel like those are going to be the people who, if they collect, they probably had tickets anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had tickets, I think you got in like 3 days early or something to shop. And now the rest of the peasants can go and get the scraps.
We love peasant scraps.
Yeah, the Tatooine slave boys can. That sounds like a weird like dance group, or strip
It's a shirtless
club.
man. Yep.
I
see it too. I'm not mad.
What are the dudes in Vegas called? I can't think of what they're called. Basically, what Magic Mike is. Yeah,
well, there is a Magic Mike show, and then, it's down under.
Chippendales, is that what I'm thinking of?
Chippendales is one,
Chippendales.
definitely one.
That's what I was thinking of. That's what the Tatooine slave boys.
They wouldn't wear bow
like.
ties though.
And they would all be of age, of course.
Yes.
It's just the title. It's not actual children. That's weird.
Okay.
Moving on. Other news announced. Big announcement. Disney announced Mandalorian Season 2 release date. You excited?
Halloween, man. Well, the day before Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Can't keep the kids in on Halloween.
I am super excited, but I'm also like nervous.
Like was Mandalorian Season 1 like
I think that
such
it was
a high bar that you're worried they won't?
Well, I feel like, and this happens in the Star Wars universe, it has happened before, that as they try to grow the story, it just gets, and I think this is like any story ever, like the first season was pure and like really well done and the story was nice and whatever, and I just feel like they're going to try to take too much on in season 2. I have no reason to suspect that, except for just like past television watching experience. Like if they try to just grow too big immediately.
Oh, I see.
Because like we didn't even get like, the child reveal. Like that was such a slow burn. And it was just like the plot was just about, saving the child and
where there's going to be too much going on.
Yeah, like I'm afraid that it's going to go like 0 to 100 really fast and then it's not going to do the 100 miles per hour like cleanly.
I gotcha.
And again, I have no basis for that except for just like that's what television shows do. It could be really good again. I really and like I'm not excited for it. Like I'm going to watch it. It's going to be fun to watch. I just like I don't know. I'm like plot nervous. Well, because also, like post-tros.
Fair enough. I trust them. The only thing, and I shouldn't say I'm worried about it, because I guess can't really be wrong, is so from what I've heard in rumors, because spoilers, if you don't know, Ahsoka is going to be in it.
That makes me nervous.
It makes me nervous as well. How is she going to translate to live action?
And just like getting too close to plots that we already saw, have opinions of, feel like they were tied up, close end. Like just let it be its own story.
Yeah, but I guess maybe and I certainly don't know Mr. Filoni.
Okay, I trust Uncle Dave. You're right. I need to just in
Dave
I mean. We trust.
And I mean, he created the character, so I guess he can do whatever he wants with it. My worry isn't so much his writing; it's maybe just more, does she need to be in there, like you said? But it's not even so much for the just like putting her into these stories.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how to put this. It's maybe, okay, we'll put it like this. I worry that maybe Dave Filoni, because he has such this attachment to Ahsoka, that he just wants to put her in everything, because maybe he feels like if he stops putting her in it, like, I don't know if it would be people don't care, but it
or like
would
a
just
good luck charm or just anything.
Maybe it would just be Disney like, okay, people are over her. Let's we don't need to put her in anything anymore. So as long as he keeps putting her in places, people won't forget about her. Or maybe he's trying to get her own stuff and figures,
But like the Mandalorian was its own stuff, and I don't want, like, if she's in it too much, I don't want her to steal the plot.
That's fair.
Because it's not as of right now, it's not about her. I mean, like, that could so easily be like she has to work with Mando, or who knows what's it.
I'm fine if it's maybe just a season. If you just want to do a season where like they have separate goals, but they're kind of working together to do something, that's fine.
Though I guess like technically we have no evidence that she's actually going to be in, just rumors.
I have a feeling though.
Adam has a feeling.
I have a feeling, more than a feeling. Yeah, okay, you got it. As long as you got it. But I want, and the thing is I feel like there's a group of people who feel like if it happens in like animation, it doesn't count.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe he's just like, listen, if she's on a live action thing, like she's legit now. Like you can't just take her out of it.
Yeah.
Whereas Disney they would never, but they could easily just be like, yeah, that Clone Wars showed like isn't canon. Mandalorian was too big for them.
They could.
I mean, they could, right? But I feel like Mandalorian is too big of a show.
I'm afraid that like, so if Ahsoka's gonna show up, are they gonna try to interweave more like known plot canon stuff? And I'm
Maybe.
like, I don't know. Like that, I feel like that's so hard to do in a way that doesn't just like upset everyone, but like also cater to the nostalgia.
Maybe. I mean, did you finish Rebels yet?
No.
Okay. So this is gonna be hard to say without giving spoilers. I enjoy spoilers because I feel like spoilers make me enjoy the build up to what is going to happen
better. And I know I am in such the minority with that opinion, but like I will spoil things for myself, like movies before I go see them, books before I read them. Still, and so then I get to enjoy the whole ride without like having an assumption and then getting crushed and then having to like You
know who's like that? You just made me think of this. I don't want to say names here, but a mutual person who I don't know if you still work for. Do you still work for people downtown?
Him?
Yeah, him.
Yes, yeah.
So his wife.
Yes. I get that a lot. I feel like I am a lot like her.
Yeah, she, when I was living in California with them, I remember specifically there was this big, like, thing. My brother was there as well. He was, like, visiting. And she was in the middle of, like, binge watching House, which... good show. If anyone's ever not seen House, I recommend it if you're into like medical shows. So she was watching that, but she would constantly
like Google, is this going to happen
like,
or what's
Google,
next?
Like, oh, what does this person have? Because like that's the whole point of the show is they're trying to figure out what weird like medical issue this person has, and so she would just immediately like look up spoilers to every episode and. Everyone would get mad at her and just be like, why are you even watching it then?
Nope. See, okay, I'm with her. I get, like, it just, because then you get to, like, I feel like knowing what's going to happen makes you appreciate the work to get there. Like, all of the choices that the creators made to, like, you know, either lead you the wrong way or, like, try to foreshadow what was going to happen. Like, you get to, like...
That's...
more of an awareness, more of an
That's
appreciation of the art of storytelling.
To be fair, because I did not see Rise of Skywalker opening day. I didn't actively look for spoilers, but if someone posted like spoilers, I didn't like.
But yeah, that's kind of
look away.
I saw it. I think second day.
I don't know when I saw it. Oh. I don't remember. It may have been out for
I definitely had
weeks.
I wasn't like clicking on spoilers, but I definitely like had a couple, and I'm glad I did, but it still was so different than what I imagined even with the spoilers.
Yeah. You couldn't quite prepare for what we saw. More on that after the break.
That is just a conversation for another
that's
time.
A whole episode
another
right there.
mental state.
Yeah. So what were we talking? Oh, we were talking about Mandalorian season 2. So what I was trying to say, and I will try to get this not just for your sake. You may not care about spoilers, but for other people.
I mean, if the content exists.
My only thought would be is I guess at the end of Rebels we are kind of left wondering about Ahsoka's journey. We'll just say that. Like some things are said, and then you're like, oh, I wonder what that what that means. What's happening there? So my only thought would be, I guess maybe not they'd say what they're doing, but like what happens, you know? So I guess you are kind of left with that what happens moment. And I guess we're in a timeline where we're in that. Are we in that Rebels timeline? No, we're after. I had to remember when Mandalorian took place. It takes place between 6 and 7.
I Google these things, like the timeline of things, all the time because I'm always like, wait.
I get them mixed up.
I do too. It's just I'm like I know
there's a lot going on.
Honestly.
But yeah, so Mandalorian is between 6 and 7. Rebels is between 3 and 4. Yes, because Empire's like dead in Mandalorian for the most part, right? God, when in the world does Mandalorian take? I have not seen it since it came out. I watched it as it came out. That was a year ago. Or was it 2 years ago? No, it was a year ago.
No, it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
Hold on, I'm Googling. We're gonna get it. It is set 5 years after the fall of the Empire.
Yeah,
so
between 6 and 7.
And 25 years before Rise of the First Order, between 6 and 7.
Okay, because I was like, no, because there's definitely like the scene where like, there's like, no wait, that's in Rebels. But there's definitely the scene where like he's going to meet the Imperial people and they're like holed up in like this little shack house place, whatever, when the person who he's supposed to deliver the child
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
And like the stormtrooper's armor is all beat up and whatnot. So yeah, definitely between 6. So what in the world is happening if Ahsoka is in that? If
She's
she does
old.
happen, she has to be old. And what in the world was happening
And I mean, like, wasn't her
during the original trilogy?
exactly? Because
So
because from what I mean, like, if I'm guessing what the spoilers are, I think she kind of made it her mission to like go after Darth Vader. And you know what? I could be talking out of my butt right now because I haven't finished it yet.
I won't tell you
But
what her mission was.
But like we know what happens with that, and she's not in the original trilogy movies at all. And so like if you try to write that plot, like I just feel like don't fix it if it's not broken.
I don't think Uncle Dave knows, because anytime he's asked, he just don't know. You'll have to wait to see what happens with Ahsoka, and I don't even think he knows. It's just if he finds a place to put her in there, I think he wants to put her in there. So
maybe
we'll
she
see.
can be like a Maz Katana kind of. Kanata.
Maybe.
Did I just say that?
I've heard
Cantina. Maz Cantina.
I've heard rumors.
Like just like the old one that knows everything that's running a.
Yeah.
You know.
And she hands someone a lightsaber, but won't say where she got it
awkwardly
from.
hits on Chewbacca.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, he slummed around with Han for all those years. I don't think it was for no reason.
He's seen some things.
Oh God, could you imagine? I don't want to know. You think he's a good wingman though? Like, because obviously Han's like a smooth talker. Does he even need a wingman? Probably not. But like, you think there are those times where like he brings?
Oh, I bet they have like full like scenarios that they do where like one fakes an injury or one like acts dumb or like one is like captured and they're playing the whole game to get the girl. Like,
ooh, maybe
role play.
Maybe Chewie like pretends to like attack some girl, but Han jumps in and saves her.
Oh, that would be right on. That would be yes.
But I was thinking more like, you ever think there's some time where like he told Chewie to like stay on the ship and then he goes out, but then he meets some girl and he brings her back.
There's got to be some sort of like sock on the doorknob rule of the Falcon. It's a big-ish shit.
Chewie just stays in the cockpit.
Just stays in the smuggler.
He puts headphones on. Oops. My microphone. He just puts headphones on and just like he's just like roaring with the music, just trying to drown it out.
Maybe it's soundproof.
Maybe.
I don't know. Something
to think about.
Definitely something.
There's probably some fan fiction out there.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
It has to
fan
exist.
fiction where Han brings a girl home and Chewie has to like distract himself. He starts playing the holographic chess by himself. The space chess. It has a name. I forget what it's called. I think they might actually say it in Mandalorian.
So what other predictions? Mandalorian season 2 predictions. What do we got?
Other than Ahsoka, which now that we talk about it more, the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, maybe just leave her out.
That's how I feel, but again, prove me wrong in the best way. Whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess when you have Rosario Dawson coming out saying, like, I want to play Ahsoka, like, yeah, she's a relatively, like, people know her name decently well.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Star Wars has ever really been about bringing on big stars. I don't know who the biggest star they ever really brought on was. Harrison Ford, but he had only done one movie prior to that, as far as I know. He just did American Graffiti.
What about Billy D? Was he famous?
Yeah, I guess Billy D. Williams was.
He feels like a cameo.
He was. I'm trying to think what he had done up to that point.
I have no idea. Just
Empire's
based
1980?
on Persona. Hold on, I can look it up. I got
he did
those
a few
links.
things, I think, prior to that.
Career. He was on Broadway. He was on a bunch of TV shows. He starred opposite of Diana Ross.
There you go.
In Lady Sings the Blues. So he definitely had name recognition, but then it's all Star Wars.
Oh, I guess Samuel L. Jackson. There you go. There's a big name that they put into Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. But that was like prequel era.
Yeah, I just meant in general because sequels.
Was Ewan McGregor famous? Is he only?
I don't think he was hugely famous yet. I'm trying to think. I guess Moulin Rouge came first. I think. What year did Moulin Rouge come out?
Oh, here's the Google.
Yeah, just Google that up.
Is it really an episode of this podcast if we don't bring up at least one musical?
No.
2001.
Okay, so it was after Phantom Menace. I lied. It was in between.
Tweeners.
Yeah, he did that in between because
it's between High School Musical.
Could you imagine Zac
1
Efron?
and 2? Zac Efron did Hairspray and 17 again and whole bunch. Like he got so box office famous, but then he had to go back and be Troy.
Yeah.
No, don't shame. High School Musical 2 is the best one.
It wasn't shaming.
You should watch it. Have you? They're so good.
I saw the first one. He did that movie that nobody saw. I'm trying to think what it was called. And the
wait. Was it about clouds?
I don't know.
Was it a sad? Was it a sad one? What?
Hold
on. When was this? Give me anything.
A couple years ago, it had to be. I was still working at the movie theater when it came out.
Neighbors? Baywatch?
Nope. It was produced, I believe, by. It was produced or directed by Max from Catfish. If you've ever seen the show Catfish, okay. Well, the former co-host on Catfish. It was one of his movies. And nobody saw it, I'm pretty sure.
What was it about? Was it a romance?
Could not tell you.
Was it a comedy? New Year's Eve. Those movies.
Unless it wasn't Zac Efron and I'm getting it completely wrong.
I just realized I've seen most of these movies. I guess I'm a Zac Efron stan.
He's 32? I did not know Zac Efron was 32 years old. I guess that makes sense. I guess it doesn't matter. This show is not about Zac Efron.
Who would Zac Efron play in Star Wars?
I mean, he would probably get cast as the Poe Dameron type character.
Ooh, interesting. I see that.
But maybe it wasn't Zac Efron because I'm not seeing it here.
I could almost see him doing an Anakin, Padawan, older Padawan kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Young
Jedi.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm just going to look up Max Joseph because I know that he worked on the movie. We Are Your Friends. That's what it's called. Was it not Zac Efron in that movie?
I have no idea what that movie is.
Zac Efron was the lead in this movie, We Are Your Friends, and it bombed.
Oh, wait. It was about a producer. Wait, did I see this?
I have no idea.
I think I may have watched it on Netflix. Hold on. Was it? Okay, it might have been a different producer movies because there's definitely a couple of them that are all about
he's
dude
a
who's
DJ.
Yeah, who's a
DJ.
DJ movie.
Anyway, I don't even know how we got caught on that, but Zac Efron in Star Wars. I think, it would be funny. He'd probably end up being really good. It'd be one of those Heath Ledger's or
he has to die
Anne
tragically.
Hathaway. No, or Anne Hathaway things with Batman where everyone was super against Heath Ledger playing the Joker, and then obviously we know how that turned out.
Yeah, he told everyone to shut up and watch B.
And, probably still one of the greatest performances. And then everyone gave Anne Hathaway a hard time of why is she, Catwoman. And I thought she did fine. So, you know what? With that, going by that logic, Zac Efron would knock it out of the park.
Let's cast him. Mandalorian season 2.
He should have played young Han Solo.
Whoa. I like the guy who played young Han Solo.
Yeah, didn't he? I don't know if it was true, but wasn't it rumored that he needed to take acting lessons or something?
Oh, I have no idea.
Because he was
I could see Star Wars trolls making that rumor.
Yeah,
up,
possibly. I never looked that much into it.
Because no one was for that casting in that movie. That was rough.
Well.
Okay, so Mandalorian season 2.
Zac Efron.
3 predictions right now.
3 predictions.
Anything.
So.
I feel like we're going to get some sort of species reveal.
What, for like the Yoda species?
Yes.
Like, what are they actually called?
And I'm afraid of that.
They're actually going to be called Yoda species.
Me and my sister have a running joke, and since season 1 came out, we're like, Yoda is a surname. It's the family name, and so Yoda in the Star Wars movies, not the child, not the baby Yoda, we've named him Brian Yoda. Because they speak backwards, so when everyone just calls him Yoda, it's his last name.
Oh, I see.
And we don't know what the new one's going to be called, but old one's Brian.
It's going to have to be some kind of weird... If it is revealed, it's going to have to be some weird mystical thing, probably.
I guess I saw a fan theory that was like, it isn't like a species that's from one planet or anything. It's just like one can be born from any species anywhere. It's just like a 1 in a million chance.
Well, I
and that's
believe it,
yeah.
But it has
like
to
Jesus.
be something mystical, because every Yoda species that we've seen has been like
OP.
Yeah, just force powered OP. Except doesn't one die in Clone Wars? I think the one dude who has like a scar on his face. I can't think of his name. They like rescue him from a prison. Am I making this up?
No, this sounds familiar. It's early in Clone Wars. Oh my god, that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I know. We were actually, Terry and I were talking. I did not know there is a voice actor who I like. His name is Nolan North. And I found out that he played just some like one-off character in an episode of Clone Wars. And I was like, no, he didn't. I feel like there's no way I wouldn't have known. But he did. But like Terry, because Terry looked it up and she was like, yeah, he played like this character in like this episode. And I was like, I've never heard of this character before ever. Like,
or this episode. What?
Yeah. And
I feel like Star Wars literally has some sort of like magical amnesia ability where you can watch it over and over again and there's always things you will not remember or you have to watch again. Like, I firmly believe in that. That is my conspiracy theory. Forced amnesia.
Mandalorian prediction. There'll be some forced amnesia.
Speaking of voice actors in Clone Wars, Rebels. The guy that plays Zuko in The Last Airbender definitely shows up in Rebels, and I could not take it seriously. He's supposed to be a cadet, and I was just like, no, that's Zuko. That is my Prince of the Fire Nation. Like, because his voice is so iconic, I just couldn't.
There was I felt that same way when I watched Clone Wars, and you hear Jon Favreau because he plays Pre Vizsla, and every time like he would talk, I would just think of Jon Favreau and Chef. If you've ever seen the movie Chef, it's a good movie. For some reason, I just thought of him like serving food out of like a food truck, and it was very hard to take him.
You can't like separate.
I can't separate it.
Yep, I feel that. Okay, so prediction. My prediction 1 is some sort of species reveal, backstory, like something where we definitely learn more about the Yoda species.
Yes, we're definitely going to have a connection to Rebels in some way, because we're going to have to the dude at the end of Mandalorian who has the darksaber.
The thing's dope.
Yeah, because the last person that we saw with the darksaber is Sabine, who then passes... Spoilers. No, because Sabine passes it off to... what is her name? Doesn't matter. But she passes it off, so we have to know how did he get it.
Right.
So we're going to have some kind of connection to Rebels.
What if they don't? Would that frustrate you to not explain?
If they just ignored it, kind of like a Maz Kanata thing where it's just like, it doesn't matter how she got the lightsaber. She has it. Let's just move on.
Right.
I feel like it would bother me more than that, because there was like a whole story about this like darksaber and like what it means and how important it is. And like we had multiple episodes talking about it through 2 shows, because it's in Clone Wars as well, isn't it? Or am I making that up?
I don't
Maybe it's not.
think so.
Okay. Either way, it's still in a good chunk. Yeah.
Sometimes you talk to me and I'm like, am I even a Star Wars fan?
No, half the time I don't even know. Like I said, it all kind of blurs together. Definitely the animation, which isn't a bad thing.
No, because you can just enjoy it over and over and over again. It always feels fresh. It's the amnesia effect. Mm-hmm.
She's writing a book on it.
Okay. So prediction 2 is Darksaber.
Yes. Darksaber.
Explanation, Rebels connection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said you think they're gonna do a Yoda species reveal, right? Which I feel
like I feel like I would not hate it if they didn't, though. If they just continue to be
I'm
like
fine with it.
I feel like they could do not explain it, and because of the way the first season went and everything, like it would be okay. They could make it work, and it's not infuriating in the same way that the Darksaber might be infuriating.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because Yoda, it's not like his species was ever something that was like touched on, or there was ever any kind of like arc about it. Like it just doesn't matter. Just like it, no one really. It's just a name. Like who cares? It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Like if you didn't tell me what a Twi'lek was called, or Twi'lek, whatever, wherever you're living, I wouldn't care. Mm-hmm. It's an alien. But since we have I think it just bothers people because every other species is like been identified.
Yeah.
But that one.
But I feel like that's part of the
That's the charm, right?
Yeah. That's like the Empire effect.
If
you have to go to this planet to meet this great master. And he was super weird, mystical then. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of gave him more a lot of backstory in the prequels, just being he was almost just another Jedi master. Oh
yeah.
Which kind of I think takes away from the mysticalness of being Luke's teacher.
I agree with you. He's
like a what is the plot device where the godlike character comes in to Deus Ex Machina? No, that's
no. Deus Ex Machine.
But where the godlike character comes in and reveals how to save the day. That was his role.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then they gave him they kind of ungodded him.
Yeah, I think if you reveal the species, it kind of takes away some of that specialness about him. Then he just becomes, he's just one of those things.
Yeah.
So
I mean, what if it's weird and Baby Yoda is his Yoda's?
He's Yoda's child. Offspring.
Yeah.
Who in the world was Yoda with?
Because that thing is 150 years old or something.
Yaddle. Is that who he was? But he's a Jedi. They're supposed to be,
Okay, the only one that stuck to their vows was freaking Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
You can't tell me I'm wrong with that one. And I love Obi-Wan for it. I love him for it, but he really went hard for his piousness.
I guess we don't have proof. Qui-Gon probably. No, Qui-Gon was kind of just disobeyed everyone, so Qui-Gon probably was. He was visiting the Outlander Club probably on a regular basis, buying death sticks.
That we could have a whole day talking about.
A whole day talking about death sticks?
Oh yeah, no.
That's a YouTube video. Death sticks. We tried them. You'll never believe what happens.
Just has a pile of pixie sticks.
That's probably what they were.
Honestly, that's what, and I feel same concept. Just sugar as the worst drug possible.
In Star Wars?
It's meta.
No, it's spice, right? Spice is the big drug in Star Wars. We don't really know what it does, but it's bad for you.
Yeah, you don't want to get, involved with those spice runners.
Don't put that in your kitchen. Mm-mm.
I always imagine it to be either cinnamon or cardamom.
That's what it really is?
The spice that they talk about, I just imagine East India Trading Company, historical references where it was just cinnamon was the most valuable spice ever because it was rare and people were it makes everything taste great. And then chai, I don't know.
It's probably something that's been explained in books and such, but we don't read books.
I just imagine cinnamon.
Even though we talked about a book on the last episode, but
it's on the to read list.
I feel if Disney hasn't, they need to put out that book, just like Star Wars Spice, and it's just a book about like the history of spice running.
That'd be dope.
I'd read that.
Yeah. Okay. It's prediction 3. We need one more.
One more prediction for Mandalorian season 2. Probably lots. Well, you think they're going to bring on more directors, or just keep the ones that did season 1? I think they're going to keep whatever. We always forget his name.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
I don't think that's it.
Whatever, but you got it. Isn't it Tycho like a name of
Tonka? Are you thinking
like
Taika Waititi?
Tycho trucks or something?
Tonka
No,
trucks.
I feel like Tycho something else, but whatever. But I'm pretty sure we know he's probably coming back unless he's working on his.
I don't believe when they say anyone gets a trilogy. I'm like, I don't believe it. I'm very cynical about it. Okay, but so like what made season 1 special with the directors is how like everyone got to do their own like little thing, and then
it all made sense,
like a gallery about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like based on how successful that has been, I could see them trying to do it again, but I don't think it would hit the same way.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, there was still the structure of like everything had to get past Jon Favreau, by the way it sounded.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wrote it and whatnot, but I think he had to sign off on it.
And Kathleen Kennedy, oh my God, was at that table. She made sure she butted in every,
She
couple
made
sentences.
sure she was there for everyone to know.
She was there.
Love you, Kathy. I think her friends call her Kathy. Probably.
I have no idea.
If you're friends with Kathleen Kennedy, let me know in the comments. Do you call her Kathy? So last prediction.
Well, I just feel like, okay, so if they're trying to like make the plot like thicker,
mm-hmm.
it might be hard to do more directors because there's gonna be more like trails of plot that have to
connect.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be.
Okay, not a prediction, but I really want some good Cara Dune content. I want her to continue to be so important. I want her own plot line. I want her to have like her own reason. Her own like journey.
Yeah, because she wasn't doing much, was she? She was just hanging out,
hanging around.
So,
and she's so good, like obsessed.
She got really good feedback. I don't think anyone disliked her.
No, so I feel like they could roll with that. Like if it's like an Ahsoka Cara kind of a like.
Do you think there's gonna be?
I have no idea.
Like some kind of love story introduced with him.
I could see them trying to do that, but also like. Star Wars has always kind of been a love story.
Well, and it was kind of hinted in the first season, right? When he like meets that girl and she's like, "You could just stay here with us.
Take off your mask," and then he didn't.
Yeah.
But then we saw his face later anyway.
Like 4 episodes later, but so it was kind of already hinted that clearly, he's not against, smuggling the booty.
Feelings.
Emotions.
Attachment.
Yeah, not the Jedi way, but Mandalorians,
I feel like it's not dissimilar.
You know what? I think here's a prediction. They're gonna touch because I feel like they got a lot of feedback about it. So I think they might touch on it. Why certain Mandalorians keep their helmets on and why others don't? Because we saw in Clone Wars and Rebels and everything, Mandalorians were taking their helmets off. No
right,
problem.
So they need to like kind of fix that plot hole.
Yeah, but then in Mandalorian, they're just like, Mandalorians don't take off their helmets.
And you're like...
But we saw tons who did.
Yeah.
So I feel like they might touch on that and give some kind of explanation of just like...
What changed?
It could be easy and it could be simple as just like, oh no, certain clans just felt like they,
I think we're probably... Oh, do you think we'll get any like full flashback episodes? Because the flashback was like in almost every episode. Of like when his parents
like
left
the Purge
him
and whatnot.
Yeah, so I wonder if we'll actually get like an episode or two of like going back in the timeline and watching what happened to. I'm assuming it's Mandalore.
Yeah, I don't know what planet. Well, he's not a. I don't think he was on Mandalore. Well, maybe he was. I don't know if they ever said it.
I don't think they did.
Because Mandalore was already like. No, it was still around in Rebels. They were like having civil war, but that's the whole gimmick with Mandalores. They're always having war.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I wonder.
Fine with that.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe that's my third prediction. It's just more unpacking of the flashback.
How many Easter eggs do you think they're gonna shove into this season? Because there was a lot.
Get me a basket. Let me just tell you, as many as they can fit.
Is the show gonna end in March, April? I don't know when Easter is anymore. March? Yeah, it's in March.
I think it depends on. It's a religious calendar thing.
Oh, all right. Well, either way, you'll have your baskets filled of Easter eggs by the end of this, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Do you think it's going to be the same amount of? Have they announced how long it's going to be? Like same.
I don't remember how many episodes was first season. I think it was like. I only want to say it was like 8 or 10 or something. 10.
Yeah, it was not. It was short, but it was like purposeful.
No, it was good. You got in, you did your stuff, and you got out. Don't have filler. That was nice. There was not any episodes that just felt like filler.
Clone Wars and Rebels definitely have episodes, and I think that some of it is also because they're like shorter episodes.
Yeah.
And so there's just so many more, but they're...
There were definitely episodes in there where you're just like, in Clone Wars and Rebels, where you're just like, this didn't really progress anything. It's just like a little side thing that we've just done.
Like, I think Mandalorian almost kind of feels like a mini-series or like a...
Yeah, it's more of a mini-series.
Like,
unless it
expands,
like
it's just purposeful. It's not... I don't know. Like, I feel like season 2 was probably a given, especially based on how popular it was. But I feel like at some point... Oh, this is okay. This is a wish. I hope that they have a finite endpoint in mind, even if the fans want more content or you think you could have milked it for a little bit more. I hate when TV shows do that. Like the last couple seasons just go to crap and they're just like any plot imaginable happens. And like, it's like you worked so hard to develop this story and then you're just trying to keep it going. I hate when, and that's like so many TV, like
Rise of Skywalker.
I mean, like, okay. Again.
Just throwing anything up there, just trying to get a movie to go out. I don't know.
Yeah. Just like, and that's just like TV shows, like any of like the more casual like shows on TV. It's just like they just kind of like serial plot. Like they will just like, they don't know where they're headed when they start it, but they're like, oh, this is something that could go probably a couple episodes. And oh, that's another thing that we could do that could go a couple more episodes. Like I want Mandalorian to continue to be purposeful.
Yes, but I think they have the right people in charge, that they're not going to fall into that, hopefully, unless like it ends up people over them coming down and saying...
Though I feel like Clone Wars to begin with was not specifically purposeful.
No, I think Clone Wars turned... And I don't know, but I like to imagine that they made Clone Wars anticipating this to be like, this is a kid's show. But then they probably got like the demos back. And we're like, oh, wow, there's a lot of people in this like probably 18 to 35 demographic who are watching the show. Maybe we should start gearing it more, maybe a more serious tone than because the first 2 seasons were just kind of... Like we said, just kind of a lot of one-offs and... Yeah,
just like things in a world you love.
Yeah, they didn't really contribute to the overarching like Star Wars story.
And like Anakin and Obi-Wan didn't really become like complete regulars within the show. And it's not because they had a ton of its own characters. It was just kind of like, you'll follow this character now and that character then. Yeah. And here's a new character, don't get attached.
And I don't think people were like really in love with Ahsoka yet because she was just kind of there, and everyone was probably just like, why is Anakin having a Padawan?
I still can't really believe that they got the okay to do that. Because I just feel like that has so much like effect on a person to have such a close relationship with, like to be allowed having Anakin's whole story written out And then to add in this seemingly super close relationship and act like it didn't affect anything.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, I love Ahsoka. Do not get me wrong. I love Ahsoka, but I just feel like she would have mattered more. I feel like because, like, if you're talking chronologically, she would have shown up, existed, been talked about, something. But obviously, the original movies came out in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Obi-Wan never mentions her or anything. Which I guess maybe he doesn't have to. He doesn't really need to bring up to Luke that, like, oh yeah, your father trained this person. I don't know where she's at or what she's doing right now.
Yeah.
Which is the other thing, like, Leia knew Ahsoka because Leia is in Rebels.
Yeah.
So
you just think it would come up.
You would think, like, if Ahsoka is alive come original trilogy, like, why didn't Leia send for her?
Original trilogy, it kind of feels like, maybe this is headcanon. I guess I can't really. It kind of feels like, though, that Anakin Skywalker is almost a myth.
Yeah.
Like, they don't talk about him. He never existed.
Well,
he might be real. He might not be real.
Same, I guess, with just the Jedi in general, right? They kind of just become this myth, like, and it's treated as a religious thing because, like, Tarkin even says, like, to Vader, you're all that's left of that religion. So it's clearly viewed as something, I guess, like, mystical and, like, I don't want to say godlike.
But just, like, legendary. Like, could be real, probably as folklore.
Almost, I guess, kind of like you would view the, like Greek or mythology,
and their gods and stuff. Yes, just like that. I was thinking that too.
Yeah, so they're, I guess, more of a mythology type thing at that point, which is cool. And then comes sequel time, like, I guess they're just kind of forgotten about. I guess they're still there because they just know stories, but I wonder if they meant old Ben Kenobi. They don't even talk about him.
The injustices.
Right? The sequels don't even bother to bring him up. Han tells everyone else's story. Oz doesn't bring him up, but that's all right. I feel like Maz probably had some kind of run-in with Obi-Wan. They just seem like
oh my God,
that would be a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Maybe in the Obi-Wan show.
I'm excited about that. I still am excited about that.
But
I feel like my heart's not like as... I guess until we hear more about it or whatever. But I feel like I'm not as nervous about that because I'm like, I don't even care what they do. Great character. Would love to see it.
So, rumor I heard, and the only thing that makes me slightly worried. So, rumor I heard is that it's like prequel era, which I thought was weird because we already know what he does in the prequels. We had Clone Wars in episode 1. Like, do we really need to see more? I'm not saying I'm against more, but can we really advance his story much more? In that era. And plus, if Ewan McGregor's coming back, Ewan McGregor is old now.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to go in digitally and, like, DH him. And that's fine if you're just doing, like, a quick scene or whatever. But, like, to have a whole season where he's going to be digitally, like, DH'd, if that's true, I feel like it's going to bother you. Because, no offense to technology, but you can still kind of tell when someone's face has been tampered with.
Yeah.
But that's just a rumor. I don't know. I guess
I think I heard that rumor too, that it was supposed to be like
prequel era.
Yeah.
Logically, you would think.
I mean, like, I think I could vibe with it being like Rebels time period.
Well, yeah. What was he doing on
like,
Tatooine the whole time? Just sitting there?
Farming?
Yeah. I don't know. Just hanging out in the Dune Sea.
He was. It took him at least a couple years to come up with his pseudonym. Old Ben. Yes.
That's what. He goes into town. You look like that Jedi guy I've seen here before. No, I'm Old Ben. Don't you know? I live out beyond the Dune Sea.
Oh God.
God. So that's a movie I want to see. Just Obi-Wan, just trying to stay hidden by just like. And it's called Old Ben, a Star Wars story. And it's just him doing Monday things while, like, trying to stay low key.
I like it. I'm here for it.
That'd be great. He runs into Watto, even though I guess Watto never saw him. But That's okay. God, that's good stuff. All right. So that's Mandalorian, October 30th. Are you going to rewatch season 1 before going into season 2?
Definitely.
Yeah, I probably will as well. Got to keep fresh. I haven't seen it since last year.
I binge watched. I was doing some homework one night and I got like 5 episodes in. So, I mean, like my productivity level was very low, but I also wasn't watching very hard.
So nothing was really getting done at peak performance.
Yeah, a good 5 hours of nothing happening. But so I have like half rewatched it, and it like stood up. Like it was still good second time around. Like I was still like, oh man, this is a good show. Like really want to seriously rewatch this, but I wanted to wait.
I think, or my brother told me he watched it and I said he didn't really care for it, but I don't know if he was just saying that to try to like egg me on, because I think Mandalorian's probably the best thing Disney has done with the license. You might think Episode 8, but thinking Mandalorian, or I guess Rebels, that was still Disney, and Rebels is great.
Yeah, I don't have an answer to that question. I would have to think on it a lot more.
Well, what do you think? So,
because I mean, like I personally enjoyed the new characters that we got in Episode 7.
Yeah.
And I don't love what happened with all of their storylines or how they were utilized or not utilized.
Did you hear that big? You talking about the big John Boyega?
I get it. I don't hate him. I don't have any beef with John Boyega. I know so many Star Wars people do. I don't. I think that he has a right to say what he says. I think he has a right to do what he does. Like and
I wouldn't even say that he was wrong.
Yeah, and I hear what he's saying. That doesn't mean that I don't love Star Wars still. But I think that like he was absolutely advertised with a lightsaber and kind of like this, like he was given this thing that could have been such a plot line, and then he was totally sidelined. And like we saw that with Kelly Marie Tran and Rose, and I didn't even really like Rose's character. And like I swear to God,
Christie, that's her name, right? Captain Phasma. She was another one.
Yeah,
all
like that were given. Yeah.
Promoted hard and
nothing.
But I mean, that's not even just a Star Wars thing. Like other movies do that too, but I feel like, yeah, Star Wars really dug into that.
Well, I just think it's a waste to create this like super dynamic character and then not use it.
I mean, but you don't know how much it's like cut. Maybe when they're writing it, like the characters have a bigger role. I'm certainly not defending it, especially after they did it twice with Phasma, where like people complained like, hey, you promoted all this Phasma stuff, but you didn't do anything with her. You just made it for a toy. And then they came out and were like, oh, don't worry, Phasma's going to have a bigger role in this next one. And she didn't.
I mean, like, did that happen in the original trilogy at all? Like, I guess merch was probably slower.
I mean, I wasn't alive to see what they were, like, how they were promoting.
Well, because I guess I feel like, you know, like, going back, when you think of, like, original trilogy characters, like, you think, like, Boba Fett is such a main character, but he really does not have that much screen time or plot at all.
People just thought he was cool looking, and
they like gave him this like bigger role in the fandom.
Correct. He didn't do anything.
So I feel like same level.
To be fair,
although I don't know if he was like advertised.
To be fair, we see him. I think we see him shoot a few shots. We see him jetpack for a second, and then we see him get thrown into a Sarlacc pit.
Yep.
So he doesn't really do anything all that impressive. I think it was just people hadn't really seen anything that looked like him before. He looked very mysterious and
fair enough
and cool, and so people just wanted more of him. They never really got it. They got baby Boba Fett. And that was a rumor a long time ago that Boba Fett was going to be in Mandalorian season 2. I remember seeing that, God, months and months ago. People were saying,
wait, yeah, I think
Boba Fett's going to he's going to show up in season 2. And I'll tell you right now, if that happens, I will not be happy. It would have to make a lot of sense for him to like be in there.
Well, it doesn't work in the timeline unless it's a flashback.
And as far as I know, in canon, in Disney canon, did he survive? I don't know if in Disney canon he survived the Sarlacc pit. I know in like Legends he, I guess, supposedly did.
Oh.
But I don't know if in Disney canon he did. I don't know. Post a comment on this video and let me know if Boba Fett survived in Disney canon. But even if he did, it's just like, to me, throwing him into it is just so like almost cringy.
So there's a level of cringe. Like how far is too far of a connection?
Yeah, that's
of
maybe
an Easter
going
egg?
too far. Just like, oh, well, people think Mandalorians. They think Boba Fett. We need to have Boba Fett in here. And it's just like, or we don't.
Or we don't need to have Boba Fett.
We have our Mandalorian. If Boba Fett's in there, he's just going to overshadow Mando. Is that his actual name, or is it just what they call him?
Yeah, that's a whole. Geez, they didn't name freaking anyone in that show. We got the child.
Cara Dune, she got a name.
She got a name and a plot. I swear to God, if they sideline her, I'm gonna lose it. I don't think they will though, because even in Gallery, they talked about how much of a great character and great thing they did there.
Yeah, she was good. But speaking of that, as far as that's Mandalorian. As far as their movies go, are you all for them like doing trilogies? Because I was thinking about this the other day. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I think, well, honestly, what I think Disney should do is maybe what they tried to do or probably thought about doing in the beginning is, I think ultimately they would love to turn this into like Marvel Universe. But you can't, and I guess you could do that, but I feel like they're stuck in this mindset of like Star Wars movies have to be trilogies. Like we have to release a trilogy for every Star Wars movie, even though like you did Rogue One and you did Solo, but they don't even talk about those anymore.
No, those were purposefully standalones.
Exactly, but like, should they do more just like standalone, or should they keep to this trilogy format, or should they go all out?
Trilogies are hard because I feel like first one,
especially when you got 3 different people directing them.
First one, leaves you wanting more, and so then you're really happy about the second one. Second one makes it too thick, and so then you have all of these plot lines, and you're like, what the heck are they going to do in the third one? And then third one is either split into 2 movies or disappoints you, or both. Split into 2 movies and disappoints you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just like any of the like anything I can think of where it's like that kind of like fantasy genre. Like that's what they do, is they do these like 3 movies, and it doesn't, I feel like they're too far in to even attempt to try to do like a Marvel Cinematic Universe unless they start introducing new characters and a new era, like big time. Like they need to get away from the Skywalkers if they want to do that.
They announced their High Republic like book series that's going to be coming out. You could dive in there, then you can use all the new characters you want. But my thing with trilogies is, and I have nothing against trilogies, is I feel like when it comes to Star Wars though, if you tell someone, okay, you're going to make a Star Wars trilogy, their mind just goes to the original trilogy probably, and I think they're more vulnerable to copying when they do that. Like, okay, well, how did the original trilogy go? We had like this is our first act, this is our second, this was our third.
Oh yeah, okay, yep.
And so like we have to mirror what they were doing.
Yeah, it's nostalgic.
Exactly, like it's kind of, I dare I say, unavoidable. And you could say like, well, you know, Rian Johnson tried to do something else, but he tried to do something else in the middle of someone else with doing what I just said, and like envisioning the originals and trying to go at the same pace and like structure as the other ones.
Right.
So maybe if Rian Johnson did the whole thing himself, maybe it would have been really different. But
I mean, like, and the way that they've been numbered, like if they wanted to do a cinematic universe type thing, then I don't think they should have went 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Because I don't think 7, 8, 9 even really fit really coordinate besides the fact that there are legacy characters.
Yeah.
And they almost don't need to
And
be
I think they did it just because people were expecting it.
Mhm.
Like, people had been wanting 7, 8, 9, even though I don't know why. I was never really someone who needed to know what happened after. Like, 6 had our ending.
Yeah, I think 6 ended it. And it was so cohesive with the, like, and I don't know, maybe I misunderstand, but I thought that the Skywalker saga was the story of Anakin Skywalker. And so what the heck happened in 7, 8, 9?
Well, I
7 and 9,
guess it's supposed to be the Skywalker family, and I guess you have, like, Kylo Ren, who's, I guess, technically
but they didn't use him
Skywalker.
good enough to be
No,
to
they
like
didn't.
carry on the Skywalker saga.
They didn't. They just made him angry. He was just an angry boy. And then, yeah, you just threw in Luke, who really didn't serve much of a purpose.
Just in the grand scheme of things, like we're not hating.
No.
Individually, they're amusing, they're entertaining. It's good. It's interesting character continuations.
But we would have been better off with something else.
Well, yeah, because I think like just don't number them. Like 1 through 6 is a complete story.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put them at 7, 8, 9. Put them as just like whatever they needed to be. Like I
agree.
There is like it's like you're on a road. Original trilogy, you're still on the same road, and then all of a sudden there's like a giant gap, some potholes, at least 3 mountains, 2 cliffs, and that is the sequel trilogy. Like it doesn't fit together. Like they really wanted it to fit together to be this cohesive story, but like there were some really big issues. And I think a lot of that is not knowing where they were going when they started.
Absolutely.
Because George Lucas knew exactly where he was going from the get-go. And there's so much to be said for that. And
yeah, whether it was good or not, at least he had a vision.
yeah, and like even with the prequels, like he had already written that story for Anakin when he wrote Darth Vader, at least to some level. And then he had 40 years to work it out. No, 20 years to work it out. Woo, math.
Now, so just thinking on that, but I guess maybe Disney's worry was if they tried something new, would people of like, I think people would have gone to it anyway because people go to anything that says the word Star Wars on it.
And it had been a long time since there was really like Star Wars content. But
would people have like complained like, where's my Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader and all these people I know? Like I need to have them. Like
yes, but I just I can't even imagine what the fandom would have looked like if we were given different than what we got. Because it would have just been so different. Like I'm sure that there would be trolls and haters no matter what, and there are still. But like I don't know. I think that they're doing good things with the Mandalorian. It's like a fresh start. It feels like they brushed their teeth and they're just.
It's almost like
starting.
People would say about DC, like their movies are terrible, but like. They're good with their TV shows and like their animation department is great. And maybe that's where Star Wars is right now. The movies not so hot, but they know what they're doing as far as TV goes.
When do we have any? I know that nothing like has been released officially, I don't think, but like is there like a Disney timeline for new movies?
Oh, God. Yeah, I remember when they put out that old timeline, didn't they? That ended with 9. So I don't know.
So Disney probably, like I bet if you go on IMDb, there's like an unnamed Star Wars project 2023 or something.
Probably.
Because that's what Disney does.
Yeah, we have Tychos. And I think that's it. They've mostly announced TV stuff. Mandalorian, like Obi-Wan. They haven't announced anything movie-wise, but then again, maybe they're just waiting for the Rise of Skywalker to
simmer down.
Well, which I think it kind of has.
I think it has too. I think I'd be interested to see like the watch, like the Disney Plus stats.
Oh, because
I don't think I've watched Rise of Skywalker on Disney Plus.
I have not.
I've thought about it. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll give it another chance, or there were moments that I enjoyed, plot wise, moments. And I'm like, no, I don't really want to get into it.
Yeah, I haven't.
But I have absolutely watched all of the other ones on Disney Plus at least once, if not multiple times. Because like they're movies that I want to just put on, and Rise of Skywalker is not one of those movies.
I'm trying to think as far as Disney Plus goes. I think we've watched maybe 1 through 6 all on Disney Plus. Maybe 7.
I don't know. Somehow my family like associates Star Wars with like Christmas time, in the way that there is no association except for, you know, it's getting seasonal and we're like, oh, we should watch movies. And then we're like, you want to start the Star Wars series? Like, let's just watch them all. And we always do it. It's always in like December or January. I think it's usually like right after Christmas. We're like, it's Star Wars season.
You would think that'd be like summer.
So then we watch it like annually.
Because that's when like May the 4th is.
Yeah, no connection.
Star Wars seasons for people, and that's when Celebration is.
Yep. That's why I feel like I've like struggled to continue to watch Rebels and stuff. It's because it's like anti-Star Wars season in my heart.
Oh. So we'll get your Rebels review come December.
Honestly. I'm just like not in a rush. Like it's a world I love and I know it will be there. And I don't want to like run dry of content.
Yeah.
Like I want to still have something new to look for. Like I'm not rushing. Spoiler away. Yep.
Outside, you're right. Outside of like books or something like.
And I want to read the books too. That's definitely.
There's like, just a lot.
I'm in right now. It's like starting to get a little bit like fall in the mornings and pumpkin spice season, and so I'm doing a lot of like romance novels, and like YA fantasy. I'm living my best life in books, but none of them are Star Wars books. And so I feel like maybe if I find a good Star Wars series. Also, I'm poor and I'm trying not to spend money on books. So the library would have to have all the ones that I needed to read.
Well, I know we have a couple, but
I have some that I need to get through that I own that I just haven't started yet.
Well, get on. I know I always say I'm going to read like I've had the Ahsoka book for like a year, and I told myself, well, I can't read it until I finish Clone Wars and Rebels, which I've done, and I still have not picked it up.
You have to be in the right mood to like. You can't like force yourself on content that you're not like ready to like. That's how I feel about Rebels. Is that it's just kind of sitting there, and I'm just like not ever quite ready yet. But trust me, I will be. And like to come here and talk about Star Wars, I still love it. Trust me. I think I need to watch episode 1. I feel like that's what I don't, because I'm in charge of the show outline for next one, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We're gonna do something with episode 1. I'm gonna because it's been a minute since I watched.
Talk about Newt Gunray. No.
Perfect.
Speaking of, I guess trilogies. I've been completely forgetting to bring this up, and I guess I kind of briefly brought it up in the beginning of the show. This year, I believe May 21st, was the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back, and we have not talked about it, and it bothers me because that's my favorite of the whole series, and why it has just like not been coming in my head to talk about.
Just the fact that it was the 40th anniversary, or just talking about Empire in general?
Or I guess both, right? I mean, it's an excuse to talk about Empire, really, and like, why was I not fishing for excuses to talk about Empire? And May was the anniversary. I think it was May 21st.
We weren't podcasting in May.
Yeah, I know.
As a little bit of a saving yourself.
But still, I was planning the podcast in May.
That's fair.
And why I wasn't thinking like, I got to make sure I talk about the 40th anniversary of Empire at some point.
Okay, so
where does Empire fit on your list? Because it's one for me. I don't know where it fits on your list.
I mean, like, I know that it is like on so many cinematic lists. It's like the greatest movie of all time.
It is pretty wonderful.
And I respect that. So I don't want, and so I feel like that plays in. No. I feel like that plays in. Like I'm like biased in my ranking because I know everyone else loves it, and so I'm like, okay, it must be really good. And it is. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Like the one issue I have with it, and I feel like a traitor for saying a heathen. I don't even know. Like I just feel treacherous, but I always felt like it was so much of like no, I don't know. Like,
exactly. Right.
hold on. Okay. No, you know what? It's good. I would literally, it's just my brain hurts when I think about it because I love the original trilogy and I like the introduction of the characters. Like, I really like New Hope for what it is. But they definitely like build on it and do better in Empire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I still feel like New Hope might be my favorite of the original trilogy.
That's
kind of like what my gut is saying, and I feel like that's the wrong answer.
No, I know people who think A New Hope is their favorite. I was not gonna judge you,
But I feel like I'm judging myself because I'm not making the right decision.
No, don't worry. Terry tells me all the time it's her least favorite, and I don't know if she's being serious or if she's just saying that, like, to try to get me started. I'll never know.
I don't know. I feel like it's like, I guess I've only ever really watched the original trilogy in order. Like, I don't think I've ever really watched Empire Strikes Back, not like kind of like on its own, just as its own. And so I definitely also like Blurred Edges, the forced amnesia thing. So there's moments where I'm like, what movie is that even in? Which is a horrible Star Wars fan thing to say, but you know, it is what it is.
Well, I think I did know. I feel like I remember talking to someone who said their first time seeing Star Wars was Episode 5. They didn't see Episode 4 first. And I just thought, how weird.
You know what? I dig it.
Could you like? Does it tell the story well enough, like to where
see,
you don't need to see 4?
That's what I think. That's in my brain. I can't decide if it like is this beautiful plot masterpiece, or if it ran because New Hope walked. Like, would it does it stand alone on its own? Is it topping those charts on its own, or is it with New Hope in your mind?
I don't know because I saw New Hope first,
exactly.
So it's hard for me to tell.
But like, trust me, I'm not a hater. Please don't come for me. Oh my gosh, I love these movies. You know what? Okay, yeah, I'll say it. I don't love the Hoth part.
The Hoth part of the opening?
Yeah,
of Empire?
yeah, all of that.
Hoth
I'm just,
so
it makes me cold to watch. I'm just like this gross thing.
Imagine how they feel.
I don't know. Like yeah, that's probably my least favorite scene. Okay, so that's my controversial opinion. What's your least favorite scene?
Now they're all gonna come for you.
That's fine.
Oh God, Empire is so good. You're not getting that lunchbox now.
That's fine. Okay, so you have no least favorite scenes. You think every single scene is a work of art?
So Empire is, and not just because it's Star Wars, it is my favorite movie, just in general.
Okay.
To me, I view Empire as just like, it's just perfect. Like, that is how you make a damn movie right there. Least favorite scene, if I'm just gonna pick one out here, let me think. I mean, I'm not gonna go through every. Man, I don't know.
I have the plot pulled up on Wikipedia right now just as a refresher because I'm so afraid of like talking about the wrong movie, which is like, I don't know why I'm like this, but I am like this.
Maybe. Man, I don't know.
Well, like, and we already talked about Boba Fett. Overhyped, underutilized.
Yeah,
like,
I guess, but like, when I don't even think about that. Like, when I watch the movie, I don't think, oh man, there's Boba Fett. Just like when I look at that movie, it's just like, yeah, they clearly just didn't view him like he was just supposed to be some bounty hunter dude. I don't think
there were other bounty hunters in the line.
Yeah, I don't think they ever intended for him to be like this huge character. So when I watch it, I don't view it as like, hey, I wonder what happens with that guy. Like, I guess maybe, like, in a way, no, we don't have to wonder. We already know what, like, he was supposed to be doing. Like, we know that he was taking him to Jabba. That was established in the 4th movie. Like, we knew that Han had a bounty on his head. So I don't know. I just feel like 5 does so much for that story. Like, I guess you could say the Hoth scene is like maybe not so important. Like, it's just an opening action sequence. Because it's just like, oh, they're hiding out on a nice planet. And then
their relationships have developed a little bit. Like, they're all more friends now, and they're all working for the rebellion more.
Well, yeah, I guess maybe.
Like,
Han and Leia have an argument, but
there's a purpose there. But I don't know. I just like, I don't know.
I guess the only thing that really happens in Hoth that
I guess, name a snow survival moment in a movie that I do like. I think that's my issue. I don't like any of them.
Did you see the movie Everest?
Probably. I don't know. I
think it has Jake Gyllenhaal in it. Or
yeah,
whatever.
that sounds familiar. I don't think I liked it.
I probably wouldn't like it either. That's actually kind of I don't think it's meant to be a nice movie either. I think it's supposed to be like not a horror movie, but I mean, it's people trying to survive Everest, so it's not exactly a nice movie. Well, I guess Hoth, Obi-Wan tells him to go to Dagobah, so it's not a complete bust, but
Dagobah is good.
Yeah, that like all the stuff with Yoda is wonderful.
Is wonderful. I will hop on that bandwagon 100%. I agree. I like Yoda. I like crazy Yoda. Rainforest Yoda.
We're learning more about like the Force. Like we're learning more about like Jedi and like Luke's perception that like
yes
a Jedi has to be this big buff brave warrior, even though the last Jedi you saw was an old man. But whatever, like it's teaching us that the Force is more than that, and we're learning about like how it works, and Yoda's putting Luke in his place, and it's all great. And of course we get the do or do not line, which
iconic.
I still say to this day. So I mean that's great. Luke's first confrontation with Vader is just like beautiful, and we're seeing like how like out of his league Luke is. Like Vader's just pretty much toying with him the whole time. And I think that's great. Obviously we get the revelation of
I am your
being
father,
his father,
which is like, again, tops the list of like greatest cinematic moments in all history.
Exactly. And when like that whole story, like nobody knew.
You know what might be it? The fact that the team is like split up for the entire plot.
Maybe.
I don't know if that's it. I just thought about
Everyone's got their own thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
And like what everyone's doing is important. It's not just give them something to do. Like, and we get Lando introduction. Love me some Billy D. Williams. I guess maybe the only.
I'm not asking you to criticize.
Here's the part where everyone's
going
gonna come after me, and this isn't just.
I already said it. I don't like Hoth.
This isn't just like Empire. This is just all of Star Wars, and don't get on me too harsh. I've never been a huge fan of R2 and like 3PO.
Whoa.
I mean,
whoa, you heard it here first.
Let me rephrase that. When I was younger, I liked them, and even as I got older, like I kind of liked 3PO, but I was just like R2 is like the Mary Sue of droids.
I love R2 in the prequels. I think that again, it also is like
you're also just
a boy and his droid,
That's fair, but like so all these years have gone by,
yeah,
and they're still using the same droid. Like why? You mean to tell me there's no updated version of R2 units? Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't know. They just tend to always go on. In the prequels, 3PO bothers me in Attack of the Clones. Like, they try really hard to make him, like, comic relief. And he is comic relief, but none of his stuff lands for me in Attack of the Clones. Like, the whole gimmick with him getting, like, on the droid assembly line, and he gets the Roger droid head, and I don't know. None of that really did anything. I mean, Attack of the Clones is, I don't know if it's my least favorite after Rise of Skywalker, but
honestly,
I'm gonna have to think of a list. We'll have a whole we'll have a whole show where we'll list them. I don't know anymore, but I don't know. 3PO just, even like the Clone War episodes where it's like 3PO and R2 doing something.
Oh yeah, those ones are snoozers.
Most of the time I'm just like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there's my deep, dark
That's the
Star Wars secret. I'm
Okay.
not a big fan of the droids. Love Chopper though in Rebels. I think Chopper's great. So I don't know. He has more personality to him. R2 is like Superman. He's just too much of a Boy Scout. And we can't like get a well, no, I was gonna say we can't get a gauge on like how he feels without someone telling us how he feels. Because 3PO always has to like say what he's thinking.
R2?
But not entirely, because like we know when he's sad because he makes that weird yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, don't know what that had to do with anything. 40th anniversary of Empire. Greatest movie ever made.
Maybe we'll do an episode just about Empire and we'll deep cut. We'll play some games. We'll do some lists.
I just so everyone go celebrate it.
There's so much that these movies, like there's so much to do.
Go watch Empire.
I feel like I need to watch it without watching the other ones. Like I think I need to just like see like what's this movie? What is just this movie?
What is movie?
What is movie?
What is War in the Stars? That sounded like a poem.
Oh God. Okay. Well, we've talked.
Well, yeah, we've done a talk.
We've talked about Star Wars.
We have talked about Star Wars for today.
We're gonna shout out an artist.
Yes.
Before we go,
our weekly shout out. So I want to shout out to a wonderful artist named Joe Hogan, who I only recently discovered, and then no sooner do I discover him, new art of his comes out for sale, officially licensed, and it is this Ahsoka print that I really want. Haven't purchased yet. I'm sorry, Mr. Hogan. I plan to, and I'll get it, and I'll put it right here on the back because I'm loving it. But you should check him out.
Instagram at Joe Hogan Art.
Yep. I believe he labels himself as a Star Wars artist. So, he's got some cool stuff on there. So check him out. That's going to be our weekly shout out, not daily. Our weekly shout out on the show. Try to give a community, member some love. But I was liking his art. I'm gonna try to pick up that new Ahsoka print.
I like it. I think we should. Yeah.
I think it'll go real nice in here.
Yes.
It's got
I think it's dope.
So just don't let me buy it first, and then you guys go buy, because I don't want them to sell out.
Oh my God. Well, who knows when this episode will ever be released? So
yeah.
Here we are. Hopefully before Mandalorian comes out, season 2.
Yeah, and then hopefully if you're gonna rewatch Mandalorian, I'll rewatch it. We can have a nice season 1 kind of second viewing chit chat review, and then and with that we are off. So you guys have a great, wonderful, stay safe. And I'll say it for Sonny here. Make sure to go out and vote.
Yes, whenever that may be, please vote.
So with that, you've been listening or watching the Alderaan Community Outreach Podcast. Have the best week ever, guys.
See ya. Bye.